Hi everyone, welcome to our second session of the talk show in collaboration of the Headlines and the Brilliance. And today my name is Eve and I'm here with Mora and Kayla. So, to introduce myself for a lot of you who probably don't know me yet, my name is Eve. I'm 16 years old, turning 17 soon, and I'm the head of public relations in the Brilliance. Maybe Mora or Kayla could introduce themselves, one of you.
Okay, I'll go first. Hi everyone, my name is Mora and I'm also the PR member on the Headlines. And I'm here with Kayla juga from the Headlines. Maybe Kayla can introduce.
Hi, I'm Kayla from the Headlines too, as the head of design team, bareng sama Mora. Hi.
Okay. So what have you guys been up to recently with the lockdown being constantly renewed? What have you guys been doing at home? Maybe to stay productive?
I have been doing a lot sih, cuman maybe I'm focusing more on my uni preparation since I'm a 12th grader. Jadinya mungkin uni prep, school, and also my organizational work. How about you, Kayla?
Since I'm an 11th grader, jadi aku lebih banyak waktu luang daripada Mora, and basically aku lebih fokus ke my business to be where as my side work selain sekolah, and my organization sama OSIS gitu-gitu aja sih di setiap hari.
Have you guys gotten vaccinated?
I did the first one, tapi the second one aku belum.
Guys, I hope.
How about Mora?
Sama aku juga baru yang pertama, nanti palingan tanggal 20-an sih yang kedua.
I just got my second vaccine yesterday. People were saying it was worse than the first one, but I think the first one was more painful, but that's just okay. So I got to know you guys a little better since this is my first time meeting both of you as well. It was really nice to meet you, and now we're going to maybe start onto our discussion. So today we're actually going to talk about self-compassion and how to avoid self-comparison and how to find motivation and how important it is to have a vision, purpose, and also how important it is to set a goal for yourself. So if I may ask to begin with, what do you guys, in your own perspective, what do you guys think self-compassion is, and how is it different from self-esteem or self-love? Maybe Mora can start so we can just...
I think self-compassion meaning that you have your own care to yourself and how to be kind to yourself. Maybe it's not that different with self-love, yeah. Cuman that's what I know about self-compassion.
I agree with what you said. What about Kayla?
As for me, self-compassion tuh apa ya, kayak more likely you being confident with yourself and your works and everything juga. It's basically like between self-confidence and self-love, but like it's how you express your passion into it, you know.
Another thing that I wanted to point out was that I think self-compassion is also understanding that making mistakes is also like not being so hard on yourself, and that making mistakes is okay. So anyway, do you guys think you guys practice self-compassion in your daily life recently? Or do you guys think you're still working on it?
I think as for me, I have been trying to understand myself better, and also again, I think we've been mentioning about knowing our limit a lot from the Headlines Instagram story. So yeah, I have been letting myself know that aku ada limitnya juga. Jadi palingan dari situ sih aku gimana caranya aku tahu tentang diri aku sendiri, dan juga again loving myself the way I love others, malah mungkin lebih.
What about Kayla?
Sebenarnya aku juga sama. I practice myself every day to preach what I said. Terus, sehari-hari aku juga lebih ke I enjoy things that I'm currently doing. So in that way, whatever I'm doing right now tuh aku nggak ngerasa with pressure and all. So whenever I'm doing like school stuff and sugar, I know it's because of me and myself or for my own. Terus juga, yeah. So it's basically I'm still practicing, but I think I've found my own self-compassion. So yeah.
So I think we all agree that self-compassion is important. What do you guys think about social comparison? Like, if, for example, you don't have compassion for yourself, is it good to compare yourself with others? Because I personally think that maybe to a certain extent, self-comparison is good so that you can have like healthy competition with other people. What do you guys think about comparing yourself with others?
As for myself, I used to compare myself a lot, more likely last year, but then I started to find my own passion and something that I love, and I feel like, oh, this is what I wanted, and not other people has the same passion as mine or has the same preference as mine, and so on. So I began to fell in love with my passion more, and I feel like, oh, this is me, this is what I love. So I need to stop comparing with people because like everyone's different. And when I first stopped comparing myself to other, I started by not looking at them. Like I stopped stalking their page. I turned off that because it helped a lot. Like if you have like that one person who you think that this person is your like wow, you look up to them so much, you're kamu pengen banget jadi dia gitu kan. So kayak ya udah, stop comparing yourself, kayak udah nggak usah diliatin terus, be the better version of yourself gitu kayak. So you stop caring about them sampai you're at that point.
Aku sebelum kasih tahu my jawaban, I'm very proud of you, Kayla. That's a really great progression, I think. Karena emang stop comparing yourself to others tuh benar-benar susah banget. Even I myself is also facing the same problem. Tapi for me, again, I think everything has their negative and positive sides. And as for comparing myself to others, again, tadi kan kayaknya if udah mention about healthy comparison and competition. Tapi kita harus tahu lagi kita tuh di mana sampai titik udah toxic gitu loh competitionnya. So for me, I like to compare myself to motivate myself to be a better person. Tapi kalau misalkan aku tahu ini tuh udah nggak healthy lagi, I will stop.
So I definitely agree with what you both said, and I think it's good that both of you are like in really good terms with comparing yourself with others, so you're not really that obsessed or extreme comparison, which I think is really, really good. So since you guys don't compare yourself to others, and before Kayla mentioned that her passion may be different from others, do you guys know what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are? And if you have any advice or tips on how to find them and develop them, do you have any from you about your strengths and weaknesses?
In my opinion, finding your strengths isn't something that you will gain in a very short period. So my tip is just to be passionate on yourself, because you will reach at the point where you know what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And for me, I think aku udah lumayan tahu my strengths beberapa, cuman mungkin nggak semuanya. So it's still in progress. How about you, Kai?
As for myself juga sama, aku masih aku udah tahu where is the point, where is my strength point and my weakness point. Terus, but finding it wasn't easy because it took process. Like contohnya kayak when cause I draw for Chugiware and illustrating tuh aku juga nyari kayak oh ini tuh aku bisanya kayak gini and aku nggak bisa kayak gini like ya udah kayak it's your know your limit aja, nggak usah dipaksain like oh gue pengen kayak dia nih bisa banget kayak it can motivate you but like you don't have to be like them because like you know yourself kayak oh I can do this, I can do that gitu kayak yeah it's just lebih kayak knowing yourself more. So in that way kalian juga langsung nanti seiring jalannya waktu kalian tahu sendiri jawabannya kayak oh aku bisanya ini, aku nggak bisanya ini gitu.
I agree. I think that strengths and weaknesses, you're more likely to have passion for yourself, like the one we talked about earlier about self-compassion. Maybe you guys, or what about the people who think that they don't have any strengths? Do you guys think that everyone has their own strengths, their own weaknesses?
Of course, okay.
I know some people are like having really low self-love or self-esteem nowadays, having like kind of maybe anxiety or something, feeling that they're not better as good as everyone else. And what do you guys think about that?
As for myself, I believe that everyone has has the best version of their self, has the good in them. Karena aku juga, like I said, sebelum aku tahu passion aku ini, aku juga ngerasa kayak, well, I can't do anything. Kayak I have nothing to prove to anyone. Terus tapi as the time goes by, I found my passion. Terus juga I feel like I'm interested in art, so I pursue them and I take them seriously. Kayak maybe I'm not good at math or academic stuff, but I can be focused more in art, so that way I can prove myself to everyone juga. And kalau orang bilang kayak kok kamu bisa ini sih, oh like ya udah aku bisanya di sini, kayak what can you do about it gitu. So yeah, everyone has their own strength gitu.
Yes, I definitely agree. Karena I used to be so insecure myself. I think last year was like my lowest point. I felt like I'm not any better than anyone. But then again, I find my strengths, and I believe that everyone can find theirs too.
So continuing about your strengths, for example, you have strengths and you want to develop them. How important do you think it is to have a long-term goal or a vision or a purpose, something like that? Or how do you think long-term goals are more important or short-term goals? Because if I can start with my own opinion, personally, I think that short-term goals are like more concrete and more achievable. So I think it helps me achieve my long-term goals. But what do you guys think? Is it more important to have a long-term goal or a short-term goal? Like a really far vision or just something that you want, like small to-do lists? What do you guys do personally, or what do you guys think?
Kayaknya dua-duanya butuh sih, short term and long term. So you have something yang kamu pegang gitu for long term, tapi short termnya juga ada. Jadi kamu motivatednya nggak cuman yang this one main goal, tapi short term goals-nya ada beberapa yang jadinya bikin kamu lebih semangat juga. Kayaknya aku juga lebih prefer ada dua-duanya sih, biar karena nggak tahu kalian gimana, tapi having a goal for me means that I can be motivated, dan itu ngebantu banget buat aku still going through my day. And yeah, I think that's it for me.
Ya, aku juga setuju kalau like your short-term goals and long-term goals juga, it's important to have both, karena like Eve said, short-term goals itu lebih konkret. So yeah, but like for long-term goals tuh kan kalian bisa having everything planned from now on ya, even though kita kedepannya kan nggak tahu bakal gimana, but you kind of like you portray how your future is like. So in that way kalian tuh bisa lihat kalau if you don't have your long-term goals, jadi kalian sama sekali nggak tahu like, what should I prepare from now on gitu. So I think it's important to have both karena they have their own itu manfaatnya gitu.
If it's not too personal, may I ask if you both have any long-term goals or any vision, or maybe you guys found like your purpose in life? Maybe if that's a bit too vague, maybe something long-term. Do you guys, if it's not too personal, do you guys mind sharing?
Kalau aku sih long term goal aku kali ini mungkin nggak panjang-panjang banget, but my main goal for now is my university goal, kind of, because I think in a year I'll be graduated and aku bakal masuk universitas. Jadi my long term, sorry my dog is barking. But yeah, semoga sih, kayaknya Kayla duluan nih, lanjut bentar ya. Sorry.
It's okay. As for my, aku juga punya sih long term goals kayak my uni prep itu masih 2023 ya, daripada Mora masih lama. And tapi dari sekarang juga aku udah, cause I wanted to go to art school, like I said, karena ya passion aku di situ-situ aja sih, karena I know my strength, so I focus on that more. And ya udah aku udah mulai les gitu-gitu kan dari sekarang. So ya untuk long term goals aku tuh paling university and also like maybe opening my own offline store. Ya, so itu sih yang baru aku kelihatan dari sekarang, kayak maybe my shop will go internationally gitu-gitu aja.
Amin. Lihat your design, I love your design.
Thank you Mora.
And to continue tadi, palingan again my university plans, I hope that it goes along with my expectation. And I think for short term itu bisa nggak sih kayak plan per day aja tuh, itu one of my short term goals. Kayak misalkan today my goal is to take good pictures. That's also one of the short term goals. Jadinya nggak harus short, itu kan kita nggak bisa kayak measure ya se-short apa. Jadi kayaknya kayak gitu tuh juga bisa termasuk.
Oh, before I think Kayla mentioned about an offline store. Sorry, I'm just curious. What kind of offline store do you plan on opening?
Like I was planning like a pop-up store, like maybe in a cafe that has has a store. Yeah, I would put my products there where people could see it langsung gitu, nggak dari online. Ya kayak that's one of my goals, to be honest. Mungkin nanti lah. Kayak sekarang I'm still focusing on my school gitu, jadi aku nggak terlalu ke distract ke sana gitu.
I feel like you have really clear goals. So what do you guys do to keep yourself motivated to reach your goals? Because obviously going to a good university or doing an online business or physical business, that requires a lot of work and effort. So you guys, how do you guys stay motivated, and maybe some tips on how to stay motivated?
For me, again, after I set my goalsnya tuh nggak aku kemana-manain. Aku selalu keep in my head, this is my goal, this is what I would want to achieve in a few years, or maybe next year if I'm applying to a good university. Jadinya that goal that I made isn't going anywhere dari kepala aku. Jadinya aku selalu ingat-ingat terus, and from that aku jadi lebih motivated gitu. Dan aku emang akhir-akhir ini aku lagi motivated banget sih, karena aku semangat aja gitu pengen kuliah.
That's so good. Amin. Pasti bisa kok, pasti bisa.
Amin.
Kalau aku sih apa ya? Well, I have a goals to make my parents proud or like make everyone around me proud. So that way aku kayak terasa motivasi. I should aku harus kayak gini. Aku tuh harus bikin my business sukses and masuk ke universitas yang bagus so that people will be proud of me, even though itu juga karena my family, but like they're also my motivation. So yeah, it's a good thing to have someone for your motivation, or like maybe like a role model, or yeah, so it could be like anyone to push yourself gitu buat you keep on track on your goals. Someone who supports you gitu, kayak as a support system lah gitu.
I think I'm gonna add that on that. I myself itu love language-nya words of affirmation. So on everything that I do, yes, everything that I do, I need someone to reassure me that I'm doing something right. And whenever they did tell me that I'm doing something good and valuable, I'm more motivated to do it. Karena emang reassurance for me is very important. I'm sure that Kayla is feeling the same way because
yeah, I agree.
Iya kan, karena dibikin yakin sama apa yang kamu kerjain tuh bakal bikin kayak seneng banget. But that's for me and Kayla maybe, karena kan orang-orang love language beda-beda.
Now we were also able to touch on the topic of compassion from others. What do you guys think? Self-compassion and compassion from others, are they both as important for you? Or is one more important?
It's important to have someone who loves you and care for you. But again, self-compassion is number one, because if you don't have a love for yourself, then you won't be able to receive love from other people. That's what I learned, because I think last year or last 2 years, I've been very insecure and I don't know how to love myself enough. But then I gained the love that I should have had from years ago. I think this year has been a very great year for me. So realizing that self-love and self-compassion is my number one priority is a really great thing, because then I still need them to support me. I still need their reassurance, but then I know that aku nggak sebutuh itu sama reassurance dari orang lain, karena yang paling penting itu reassurance dari myself dulu nih, kayak aku tahu dulu purpose-nya apa and I know what I'm doing is right. Baru aku lari ke orang lain untuk dapatin affirmation yang aku butuhin itu.
Yeah, for me aku juga agree kalau self-compassion is more important daripada dari orang lain, because sometimes you cannot rely everything on other people, because like people they have their own lives, kayak mereka tuh bukan ke kita doang gitu. So like when you want a motivation atau kayak add from other compassion gitu, kayak ya udah, like kalau dapet ya udah be grateful for it, but kalau enggak you can be like all sad and all, karena ya they have their own life dan nggak selalu ke kita gitu. So self compassion is more important daripada dari orang lain.
I think we basically covered everything that was on the outline today and that we have to talk about, but maybe I want to touch on a little bit about productivity, because I think it closely relates to the one that we talked about, motivation. Do you guys think you're like a productive person overall nowadays? Because I feel like recently, because of the pandemic, I feel like I'm more productive since I have more time at home. I cannot go out, so I'm kind of forced to do things, or else I'll feel bad about myself. What do you guys think? Is it easier to stay motivated nowadays, or are you guys overwhelmed by the whole prospect of being in a pandemic?
Oke, aku start deh. Sebenarnya sih pas awal-awal banget baru pandemi, I find it very hard for me to keep motivated and also productive, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and also I wasn't the type to like sit in front of my desk and do something on my laptop or my phone, because I'm more like a turun ke lapangan person. I'm not sure if that makes sense, tapi aku emang nggak terlalu suka kayak fokus ke satu hal di jangka waktu yang lama. So that's why I think the very beginning of pandemic is very, very hard and difficult for me. But then, since it has been 1.5 year, I think I'm getting more used to it, and since I've been joining several organizations, I think this is toxic at first because I forced myself to do the thing that I didn't like, but then I think ternyata aku suka juga gitu karena aku mungkin belum coba aja dulunya. Jadi pertama-tama rasanya kayak aku maksain diri aku sendiri, tapi ternyata enggak kok, aku suka juga gitu. And yes, to answer your question, I think it's very easy for me to find myself a motivation to do something. Karena sekarang karena aku emang bosanan banget orangnya, jadi kalau misalkan aku nggak punya apa-apa yang harus aku lakuin tuh aku malah jadi anxious gitu loh, karena bingung nggak tahu pengen ngapain. I have to find something to do or not I'll be so bored, and who knows what I'm going to do if I'm bored.
Aku juga setuju banget sama Mora, cause like maybe kita tuh sometimes have to push ourselves to do things we don't like, kayak mungkin sekali gitu for kayak aku juga awalnya nggak pernah tuh ikut kayak organisasi kayak gini gitu, terus kayak seru juga. So it's like we have to like push ourselves buat produktif juga, karena it comes from ourselves juga kan pertama-tama for doing everything juga gitu. So in order to be productive you have to make a deal with yourself, kayak ayo harus bisa gitu. So yeah, I feel like I'm more productive juga pas pandemic ini, cause I'm staying at home. Terus juga I feel like when I'm not doing anything tuh aku kayak bener-bener nggak ngapa-ngapain, kayak orang mati aja gitu. So like I stay productive every day, even though kayak cuma dikit-dikit aja gitu. Kak, maybe I'll just like I'm doing like a few assignments atau apa, tapi kayak nggak usah banyak-banyak, and I still call that productivity, karena juga cause like kita juga nggak bisa terus-terusan kerja kan, karena we're humans not robots gitu. So yeah,
even taking a rest is also productivity.
Yeah, it's also productive. Yeah.
So I do agree. Taking rest is also productivity because it's caring for yourself and being compassionate to yourself. It's also really, really important, as we discussed earlier. I think it's really important that in the pandemic like this, rather than always looking at the bad side, which there's obviously a lot, but maybe we should focus more on like focusing on our skills and our strengths. Maybe we can find some things that we like to do. Do you guys have any other things that you want to say that relate to today's topic, or we can just wrap it up and call it a day?
I think my message. Okay.
Okay, you go first. It's okay.
Okay. I think my last message for everyone that is watching is to semangatin yourself every day, karena kita nggak bisa tergantung sama orang lain untuk minta disemangatin, karena it comes from ourselves. So please be motivated on yourself and believe in yourself, because you have so many potential that maybe kamu belum temuin. Tapi kalau misalkan kamu sabar dan kamu semangat, pasti kita bisa temuin bareng-bareng.
As from me, aku totally agree with Mora, karena kita harus mulai dari diri sendiri aja dulu for starting everything. Sekolah pun juga nggak usah harus dipaksa, itu kayak harus dari diri sendiri dulu. So that way kamu juga bisa ngerasa enjoying kayak doing your things, whatever you're doing right now. And I wanna say that pede aja, like be confident, cause without the confidence me and other has, itu kita pasti nggak bakal bisa where we are right now. Karena juga without my confidence I wouldn't be here talking kan. Terus juga starting everything, kayak buat gambar atau apapun tuh harus pede juga ngepost, kayak ya udah, kayak if you don't like it then ya udah, then it's not for you. So pede aja, karena it start from your confidence. Kalau kamu udah nggak pede duluan, dan ya udah nggak bisa. Jadi pede aja, okay? So yeah. that's it for me.
Setuju.
I had really so much fun talking to you guys. Maybe a bit cliche, but today was like a really eye-opener. I learned to see from both of you guys amazing perspectives, and I'm really happy to be able to have the opportunity to talk with you guys today. And I think that's all that we have to talk about today in the second session of the talk show. Well, thank you so much for sparing your time, and I'm sorry today was a bit rough to start, but I think we got through it pretty well. So,
Thank you juga for having us here.
Thank you.
much for today. For both of you, please take care, and for everyone watching, please take care and stay motivated.
Stay and motivated.